Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Comrade Detective Season 1, Episode 6. It is the season finale. It is called Survival of the Fittest. Full spoilers for the episode, and indeed the season, for this video. So, I'm not going to stroke my own ego too much, but I was right.
Yeah,
Nikita was behind it all.
completely unshocking, but I'm perfectly okay with it.
I'm okay with it because when he made his grand entrance,
It's kind of glorious, wasn't it?
well, it was in a sort of. It wasn't actually in New York, but it was kind of like how like you'd have like
It was a backlot to look like New York.
exactly. It was kind of like how you'll go to Spain and there'll be like a British street where everything's British, or or Chinatown kind of idea. Like, the idea you've got
Yeah,
this one street that's just modelled after this other place. It was kind of like that. It was meant to be like a street in New York, and not only does he have this big entrance, he's wearing what I'm only going to describe as the Miami Vice suit.
yes, yeah, pretty much.
And he talks about how much he wants his MTV, and which was a nice little reference to the dream that Joseph had a few episodes ago. So, glorious is what I'll say. And that said, though, the actual guy wearing the mask did turn out to be what's his face, Stan, the
Stan, yeah.
corrupt cop. And we kind of see like his story from like when the start of the first episode, his side of it, like what he was doing. And I love that he's in his apartment listening to the national anthem, the US national anthem, of course, and he's got a bald eagle tattooed on his back that no one can
That
see.
was the bit that got me. Like the flag and the
Yeah,
national anthem, and I was like, okay, I get it, he's into this. And then you kind of you see the tattoo. I was like, okay, he's really into this.
well. I like that a lot because it did remind me of like kind of
Do
like
you know how it
the
plays?
serial
In
killer in Manhunter or Red Dragon, whatever you want to call it,
right.
with the tattoos in the back. It was kind of like that.
It just in terms of the propaganda side of things, it's like how in like all the American movies where they have like the Nazi swastika tattooed on them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like that is the way they play it in this.
It is. And also, I don't think I was prepared for the final one-liner before. Well, he doesn't actually get killed, but before Nikita goes down, when I say goes down, he gets his hand blown off with a handgun shot, which, I mean, I'm no expert in firearms or biology, but I'm fairly certain that that's not not
Look,
what would happen. That's all I'm saying.
don't question it because it's goddamn beautiful.
It is beautiful. And then he does the other hand as well, which I was actually joking in my head, like, I should do the other hand. And then he did do the other hand, and then it was like,
And
he's
then it
two
leads to the
stumps.
best line.
Not the best line. I mean, don't get me wrong, the how are we going to handcuff him now is a pretty good line. But the
Yeah.
best line, because part of his speech, Nikita's like when he's doing his speech and he's got them tied up, and then he wants Gregor and Yosef to fight to the death for his entertainment. And he's got, Yosef's wife, and she's like, the captive, and he's got his crowd of capitalists around him. And but so Yosef goes in the fight. He stabs Gregor, and obviously we know he's not really dead, but it's portrayed as if
It's played as if he is,
yeah,
yeah.
Gregor's dead. But then Gregor steps out at the last minute, and in Nikita's big speech when he had them tied up, he kept talking about the invisible hand of capitalism, and how the invisible hand makes sure everything there's balance anyway. We don't need communism. It happens naturally. And Gregor comes out, holds up his gun, and says, "You can keep your invisible hand because I've got an iron fist," and then fires the gun.
That's pretty good.
That is such a good one-liner from a communist. It is so
It
good.
is, isn't it?
I've got an iron fist. Bang. So good.
You mentioned the invisible hand there. I really like that the first episode was called The Invisible Hand.
Hmm. Nice
It's got
touch.
that nice extra level there now that obviously you don't get before, but it's cool.
Yeah. So no, it's I mean, obviously, I enjoyed this final episode. It actually ends with a to be continued, and like Yosef sticks around, so they're going to be partners now. They've earned each other's because obviously, like the one person who connected them has turned out to be the traitor, so they've kind of found each other.
Yeah,
And so that's kind of, and it says to be continued, so obviously they want to do another season, or they wouldn't end it with to be continued.
right.
At least
And
you'd
I'm
imagine so. So
I'm okay with that. They'll just be like, "Hey
so
guys,
am
we
I.
discovered more."
Yeah. We discovered season two. Like season two existed. Here it is, and I'm actually kind of excited with the possibilities. Like what, that this was a serial killer kind of a serial killer, a serial killer who worships capitalism. What could the plot for season 2 be? Like, how do we take someone who worships capitalism but do a different type of like plot with it?
Well, that's it. We kind of got it at the end of the episode, didn't we? You know, when they're spying in on the U.S. ambassador.
Oh, so you think that would be the plot of season 2?
I thought that was what that was for. Yeah, like, that's the
fair,
plot of season
fair.
2. Them trying to bring down the communism from within.
Which led to my third favourite line, which is he turns to him in the car at the end and says, these Americans, we'll have won this Cold War by the end of the decade.
It's good, isn't it?
So I actually almost wonder, let's say this goes a few seasons, right? It goes like, say, 5 seasons, right? And in the final season, we get to the end of the Cold War, but like, do they do the whole Inglourious Basterds thing where like the Soviets win, like they change history, or do they do the actual real what actually happened and see Joseph and Gregor's reaction to it?
I think the real one, and the final season is them trying to adapt.
I can see that. Yeah,
I think that could be interesting.
They're trying to adapt to now being not communists.
Yeah. These utterly devout communists.
Because I'm not sure how like all these Eastern European countries. Like, I'm not sure after the wall fell and the Soviet Union collapsed. Like, I'm not sure what the transition was like for them individually afterwards.
Right, and you got to imagine like a lot of these people, like we see here, were probably quite strong believers in communism. It's that was literally their way of life.
Yeah.
So you got to imagine that transition must have been difficult for just people on a personal level.
Yeah, maybe. So, yeah, all of a sudden, their neighbours making twice as much as them, and they're not used to that because it was communist before.
Right.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
But no, there's definitely things to explore. But I think what I meant was more like what cop show or cop movie trope sort of plot, like, because this was kind of a standard plot, but they put it into this window. So what do they take next season? So I mean, you've got the embassy, you've got them trying to take down the capitalists. But I'm just wondering how that shifts into like does it become more of like lots of like PI kind of work where they're trying to investigate them, and we have more of the trying to prove what they're up to kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
It could be cool.
Just curious.
I think it's really clear that we've definitely enjoyed this show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we're going all the things they could do next.
Yeah. And of course Jane is now officially the ambassador. Again, not really how that works, but sure.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's more plausible than the hand.
Sure, yeah, sure. Because at least like they could change the rules to do that. You can't change physics, biology, and
right, exactly,
the laws of nature. So sure. Speaking of things that are kind of it's the way that even though they kind of like prove that Stan was the killer, right? It's kind of the way that in the next scene, like the captain's just in the car with them, and it's just like, yeah, all's forgotten. Yeah, you escaped. You were in the jail bus and you escaped and you went on the run. Like, you did a lot of things that were illegal after the fact, but we're going to forget all that because we found the killer. It's fine. All's forgiven.
And he gives them the fist speech again.
Yeah, the fist. Well, he doesn't even give a speech. He just raises the fist.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah. That's the thing. He's got them so well in tune with what he usually says that all he has to do is make the fist.
Yes. The word you're looking for is indoctrinated.
Thank you. As much as I suspected that the captain could be a villain, I'm actually glad he is not, because that means Nick Offerman, should we get a season 2, will be back.
Right, he's just incompetent.
He's just incompetent. That is accurate.
Which is more amusing given how much they praise their police force, I think it's amusing that he's just incompetent, given that they're like, we're the best.
Well, yeah, it's like when they find out about Stan, he is like, oh, this is an embarrassment to the entire force. Like, he's affronted by the idea. But yeah, I think, and obviously they get the message. It's like, come or your wife dies kind of thing. So Gregor and Yosef go together, and it's a whole decoding scene because the other cops like, oh, it's a code, and they work out that the cipher for it's the date of independence in the US, and like, I think I know what that number is. Yeah, it's so obvious, and like, it's just the message, and they come, and I thought it was odd they didn't use Pepsi again. Like, they had like a knockoff thing.
Yeah, that was strange.
Especially since they used Pepsi already. I'm not sure what the thinking was there. I mean, it doesn't really affect the message, but it was, it was whatever.
Yeah.
But no. super fun episode. All the showdown stuff was great. Stuff with Nikita was very good, and I kind of like how they did seed this properly. That they both went to New York, and in that flashback, Nikita was a bit more excited about going out and doing things. Wallace was in New York.
Yeah, we saw that.
Will Joseph was, obviously more timid, didn't really want to do anything. He was terrified of everything around him because, capitalism. Like, as he says in the episode, Nikita only saw the illusion of capitalism, whereas he saw the true monster and how it kills everyone.
Yeah, it was cracking me up.
So no, it was a lot more fun lines. I think if I have any disappointments about the last episode, is that it didn't really do a lot with the whole club full of people with the masks that I thought it would.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought we were going to get a really cool action sequence or something.
Yeah, it just kind of ran into a back room and then it progressed from there. It didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it was fine once we got past that, because obviously it was like, okay, this is good stuff still, but you did want a bit more from that. Could have gone like, full John Wick or something.
Especially since we had the big cliffhanger. Like, it ended there last episode to imply, like, oh, big stuff's happening. Where I think all the other episodes had like a proper cliffhanger where it felt like the end of an episode, whereas now looking back at episode 5, it kind of feels like this was really just a double episode that they chopped in the middle, almost.
It was, yeah. Like, literally in the middle of a scene as well.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, the exception being that the opening scene to this finale was like this flashback scene.
Right.
But other than that, after that was done, though, we had the title. We went back to where we were, the exact moment. So no.
I enjoyed at the end hearing the theme from the first episode again.
As did I. Yeah, that was good.
It's a great theme. I'm glad to hear more of it.
It makes you feel full circle. You're wrapping up because we're back to that music again.
Yeah.
And all these battle lanes are drawn and all the rest of it. So, no. Comrade Detectives is a super fun show.
Yeah.
The plot's actually enjoyable, even though it's predictable, but it's predictable in a way that's intentional.
Yeah, it's fun because it's predictable.
Yeah, you're almost kind of you're enjoying how it's being shot because it's fairly well directed actually for what it is, and you enjoy it for that, and you're enjoying it because you're waiting for the ridiculous spin, the flipping the propaganda on its head and hearing the weird things about capitalism and
right. That's it. The tropes, it being predictable, works because that just grounds it and gives you the familiarity. Yeah. So then they can do the flipping with all the other stuff because you've got something to connect to already.
Yeah. Speaking of like the montage of them like taking off the stupid cowboy outfits and they're putting on their clothes and like there was almost at this moment, how like most superheroes have their signature piece of like clothing, like Superman maybe the cape kind of thing. There's that one main bit which is kind of the climax of the montage, right? Yeah. And here I loved that it was Gregor's turtleneck where he kind of went Latin, like just sort of like brushed it up a little bit, and it was like, oh, that's the moment. That's his signature. It's the turtleneck.
It's good, isn't it?
I hope we get a season 2. I have no idea what this cost to make. I mean, part of me thinks it couldn't have been that much, but at the same time, I'm like, some stunt
that's
works.
it. It's all in Romania, but then they had to do all the sets to make it look 80s.
Yeah. So I don't know how much the shooting in Romania cost. Obviously they've got some big names for the dubbing, but it is just dubbing, and dubbing by its nature is a lot cheaper than a lot of things.
And one of them's involved in the production anyway.
Yeah, Channing Tatum's a producer, so like he's so I don't know, but I hope we get season 2.
Me too.
I really do. This was a fun, quick. I don't know what the runtime added up to. It was probably about 3.5 hours all in. Very bingeable.
If that, yeah.
Very bingeable. Because they were all about 40 minutes. One or two were about 35.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I recommend Comrade Detective. So, I guess that wraps us up. Any final thoughts?
No, it's just really fun. Not seeing enough people talk about it, though.
Do you know what I will say that even Amazon, I don't feel like they're pimping it out. Like, see when you go to Amazon's Instant Video, like the Prime, I feel like most of their original shows, when they first go up, there'll be a big banner on the front page saying, here, this new thing's up.
Right, this isn't there, is it?
It's not. It's weird.
It is.
And maybe that's a sign that they spent less money on it, so they're happy for it to be more of a niche thing, but...
Maybe, because obviously when I go on Amazon at the minute, I'm just getting things for the Tick coming next week.
Yeah, Tick's coming.
That's all I'm getting. Like the adverts for that. I'm seeing nothing for Comrade Detective.
Yeah, and we are looking forward to the Tick as well, by the way. So
yeah,
we'll be certainly at least looking in on that, if not doing the whole thing. But of course, in terms of binge watches, Netflix have got Defenders for us this weekend. So
we are busy.
Look forward to that. But that is us, guys. So let us know what you thought of Comrade Detective in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. Have a look in over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?